used by the Hezbollah militant group exploded, including near a funeral for some of the 12 people who were killed Tuesday when thousands of pagers exploded. The Iran-backed militant group had been using the devices in hopes of avoiding Israeli surveillance of their mobile phones. Security sources claim Israel is responsible for these sophisticated attacks that appear to have been months in the making.
Well, you heard that right. There has now been a new round of explosions and has killed at least 20 people and injured at least 450 just one day after thousands were injured by pagers exploding across Lebanon. Now, Israel has declined to say whether it was responsible. However, considering the fact that even American officials acknowledged that Israel's responsible for this and yesterday's attacks, it seems likely that Israel is actually behind this. And so we're going to dive into that in just a moment. But Hezbollah is promising to take revenge. And this is an escalation. This is definitely the antithesis of moving toward a ceasefire agreement with Hamas as it pertains to the ongoing war in Gaza. This is a bit of a disaster because it could go in a direction that leads to a broader regional war that the United States would be dragged into. Now, before we get to some other disastrous developments, here's what we do know about today's attack. Rather than pagers, as you heard in the video earlier, walkie-talkies were detonated today. The walkie-talkies are less widely used than the pagers that blew up on Tuesday, as they had only been distributed among people organizing crowds, such as funerals and marches, the source said. Now, Lebanese media said that some of the devices were branded as ICOM, a company that actually sells radio communications, including at least one ICOM V82, which is a handheld transceiver that is pictured right here. So that's what it looks like. Lebanon's Red Cross said that it had deployed 30 ambulances across the country in response to these walkie-talkies exploding. Meanwhile, the country's civil defense force said teams were working to put out fires inside homes, cars, and shops that were ignited by the blast. So, as you can imagine, given the various areas in which these walkie-talkies exploded, much like what happened with the pagers, it wasn't just Hezbollah militants who were hurt by this or killed by this. Some of the fatalities included literal children, but Israel doesn't really care too much about that. So I'm just letting you guys know, I'm letting the people know that it wasn't just Hezbollah militants that were impacted by these explosions.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just